Hey, Dr. Liners. It is so wonderful to have you here today. Anyone who is watching, he is calling in from the phone and video. So I'm just grateful that we found a way to go ahead and make it work and that you are here. So, Dr. Liners, thank you and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I see a spine in the background. So please share with us about who you are, your purpose, and how you got to where you are at today, Dr. Liners.
Well, I'm a chiropractor, and I'm getting feedback myself, but I'll try and keep, because it repeats at me. So, mute. Can you hear me? Oh, that's not me. Okay, sorry about that. But anyway, I'm a chiropractor of 30-some years now, and grew up in Minnesota, grew up in the backwoods up there, went into manufacturing, and then went to school, got out, practiced for 24-some years, and semi-retired about 10 years ago, and invented the Good Cushion, the product we're talking about today, a few years ago. They liked it on QVC when I took it there, and sold well, sold out with a waiting list, and everybody was high-fiving me. Hey, good job! That hardly ever happens, when you sell out on QVC. So I went, oh, great. So that's why I guess I'm talking to you today, because we want to make this available to everybody through e-commerce and our website, eBay, or whoever will listen. And it's a, should I show it to you?
I have one, but we would love to see it. And I would love to hear your story, Dr. Liners, how it came about you inventing this product. And congrats on being sold out.
Well, I used to drive to work when I was in manufacturing on old back roads in a little Jeep. And I was kind of bouncing along, gravel, rough roads and so forth, and my butt would get awful tired by the time I get to work, an hour and back, there and back. So I started cutting out shapes out of foam with the scissors just to kind of sit on and so forth, and then I found shapes that worked real well. And so I when I later in practice, the people that came to me with low back pain and sciatica and discopathy and all that stuff, injuries, all had problems sitting, for any length of time. So I used to cut out my little cushions for them, and I'd roll, have rolls of foam in the back room. So I'd cut out shapes for my patients and to use in their cars and on their chairs and all that. And then I found a manufacturer who could make these. And so now they fold and you can take them with you, and they're kind of slick and good looking. And they're designed to absorb shock of the spine when you sit, and to kind of let the low spots in your sitting surface even out. So it kind of decompresses your low back when you sit.
So Dr. Liners, I would love to know, how did you evolve into being a chiropractor? I mean, was it a passion of yours as a kid, or how did that come about?
I saw my wife being adjusted by a chiropractor who just kind of did some simple stuff for her, adjustments, and she felt better right away with her low back pain. And I thought, man, that is a cool thing to happen and to do and to watch, because the guy did some simple things and it worked great. So I was very impressed with that. And so I started, investigating the profession, and liked it so well, I got into it, got into school, got out and practiced for a couple of decades. So.
Wow, that's impressive.
About how I first saw it and became acquainted with it.
So what's your wife's name?
Joyce.
What is it?
Joyce.
Joyce, how long have you been married for?
40 years.
Phew, wow. What's your secret to a long marriage?
You gotta listen more than talk. You have to conquer your childhood impulses. As a man, I think it might be a little harder to conquer oneself, and so you pay more attention to your family and their needs rather than your own necessarily. So you stay together when you don't have when you tamp your ego down. Just real simple.
That's a good way of putting it. I'm laughing at that. That's a very good way of putting it. So, have you had any huge transformations from your chiropractic years or from the good cushion? Any raving fan stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, I really do. When I first started making them, the ladies in my office staff were all sitting on them in their chairs, and they were involved in data entry and office management, and there was a lot of hours in the day they were sitting, so they got them. And I really noticed something interesting when they would get really mad when they were missing. And so, they'd kind of go around yelling, "Who took my cushion?" And so it was like a thing where my patients liked them, my staff liked them, and so I thought, well, maybe other people would like these things, and it kind of evolved that way. But there was a lot of good feedback from the patients, and even people who would use them, their sciatica would get better, and things like that. So it was all due to the decompression of the spine when you sit on one, and it kind of supports and decompresses you when you're sitting. So I'm getting a lot of feedback on that. I've been probably 5 or 6, 8 years maybe that I've been selling these, or that I've been offering them. I've had 2 returns out of about 20,000 sales. So people like them.
That's impressive. That's very impressive. So can you share with us, if you have children, how you met your wife? I would love to hear more about that.
I was in a band with a girl singer that had a friend, a cute friend. And so that was 40 some years ago, and that's how I met my wife. You see my little orchestra?
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, okay. What instruments do you play, Dr. Liners?
I play banjo, guitar, mandolin, bass, dobro, some other like bluegrass sort of instruments. And I grew up playing music with my brother. And he still has a band in Minneapolis, and they gig all the time. So I met all my friends really today through music.
That's wonderful. I love it. Our kid was named after music, so I'm a huge fan of music. So Dr. Liners, I have so many questions, but unfortunately I know we're really short on time today. But if someone asked you what you loved to do as a kid or your childhood, what would you say?
Backpacking, camping, the outdoors, fishing, backpacking, music, play music still today with some good buddies I've been picking with for decades now.
That's impressive.
That's my loves in life.
Aw, that's impressive. So if someone asked what your purpose is in this world, what would you say?
Well, I've found a way to help a lot of people. Back pain and discopathy and sciatica are the world's biggest health problem. They outnumber cancer, heart disease, all of the other real big health problems. Back pain is the biggest problem there is. And so I used to treat maybe 100 plus patients a day in practice. And they were probably 99% were low back injuries and disorders. So that's basically how, you know, this came about, and I like the feedback that we're getting with the cushion, because it helps people who, you know, without medicine or medications or therapies or, you know, all this kind of stuff, just cope with their day if they have to sit or drive for any length of time.
No, and what I love about the interviews I get to conduct for the book Purpose Powered People is nobody usually wakes up and says, wow, here's my purpose. It kind of evolves and it shows up. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. It comes out of nowhere, and you can't plan for that, your life's mission. It you know, sort of happens to you.
And knowing that and serving others, I absolutely commend you for that. I absolutely commend you. Wow, over 100 patients a day. How did you grow such a successful practice?
With just that message, I used to put about a 2-inch ad in papers, newspapers in Spanish, English, and just advertising that if you were hurting in your low back, or hurt at work, or hurt in an accident, or whatever, that you know, try us out or give us a call. And so it just kind of grew in time. And we didn't have a waiting room in our clinic. We just, people would walk in, they were sent right there to my table, and I took care of people. I hate it. I hate waiting. I hate waiting for doctors in the doctor office and all that stuff. And I set it up where there was no waiting. You got in, treated, put on therapy or whatever, if that was the case, and you're out of here. And people enjoyed the fact that I didn't waste their time.
That's huge. Time is huge. When I just, you know, I hate going to the doctor, but I had to for, you know, checkup. And I sat there for almost 2 hours. I'm sitting here thinking, this is ridiculous. Yeah. And you got to value people's time. And that's so commendable that you do that. That's very commendable that you do that. And I hear you have a partner with a good cushion who's also in the book, Tanya. And she tells me that you're very determined, and that played a key part in you guys creating this wonderful joint venture. She said, didn't you say something like, I'll be flying out, and if you show up, great, or something along those lines?
Yeah.
I love that story.
That's right. Well, I got Tanya's name from a mutual friend in Minnesota. I was sitting on a good friend's, a widow of my good friend, who had a friend that had a boyfriend with a bad back, and so we gave him, I gave him a cushion, and he knew Tanya. He says, "Oh, you ought to talk to Tanya about this thing." So they gave me Tanya's number, and I gave her a call, and she liked what she heard, and she liked the product, so she wanted to help out in its getting out there.
Well, I love your determination. I think that's so awesome. It sounds like when you're determined, you want to do something, you go for it, right?
Yeah, I think that's everybody can do that if they want. You know, you just have an idea and you just start walking toward your idea. And there are things that come up, but not too much. You know, and things are easy to accomplish if you just, you know, keep plodding toward it.
So if people can describe you in 3 words, what would those be, Dr. Leiners? What would those 3 words be?
Ooh, 3 words. Wow. Really? 3 words?
Or you could do more. You can do more. Or you could do less, whatever is easiest for you.
I don't know. Just, I guess what you would say, a determined, I don't know how to describe myself. I can describe you, but I think it's for others to describe me.
What I love about you is you have such a calm presence about you and so laid back. Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I guess so. Except when I get excited, I. But time also sort of mellows you out. You know, there's less ants in your pants, and there's less pants on fire, and all that stuff. You just kind of, well, we'll just easily walk toward, no big deal. Relax and just go about it nicely. You want to engage people in a pleasant way, and you don't want blessings. You want to be a blessing. So that's the secret to getting along.
That's a great piece of advice for just life, because then people will naturally want to be around you if you want to be a blessing in someone's life. So what gets you excited? You say there's very little. What gets you really excited?
Good music, good people. I'm always happy to come across someone who is interesting and is loving and sharing and kind of a easygoing type person, because jittery folks kind of make you jittery.
So true. What's your favorite concert you've ever been to or would love to go to?
David Grisman Quintet. Those guys play my kind of sound. It's all acoustic, a couple of mandolins, a guitar, bass, violins, or the San Francisco Symphony or whatever. That was good. I'm not, I'm sort of into acoustic music, and bluegrass music has been my kind of genre, and acoustic jazz and stuff like that. But even though I played in like a country rock band, for a while with a lot of loud and a lot of drums and all that stuff, I kind of preferred playing the acoustic stuff. And actually, when we were playing in public, the crowd liked it too. Just the intricacies of working with other very talented acoustic musicians.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's super cool. I like bluegrass as well. So, and what are your favorite causes or charities or that you like to believe in?
Israel. Being of the Jewish heritage myself, I have taken the time to learn, to practice, to just kind of get into that genre. But there's a lot of Jews are under attack. There's Holocaust survivors who are left with nothing, living in Israel or here. And there are people that that they're very, very needing of help and funds and so forth. The wounded warriors, the less fortunate, and people that are helped by people who want to not see them suffer.
So it sounds like people who have been displaced or victims of war, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you fight in the war at all, or were you in the war? Were you?
No, I was in the draft for Vietnam, but my number was too high, so I wasn't drafted. There was a draft lottery at that time. You'd read your number in the newspaper, and you'd gather with all your friends of the same age, and you're wondering which of us are going to Vietnam. So it was kind of a crazy time, but I was in college at the time, and but I was going into Air Force ROTC at the time, and as a pilot, but I decided not to. I didn't want to go to Vietnam. So I kind of drew myself out of the lottery and all that stuff, so I didn't end up going in. But
what about where's the most favorite place you've ever traveled to?
The Trinity Alps in Northern California. It's like this Disney cartoon. If you get up in the high country and the alpine meadows and the lakes up there, good fishing for trout, good camping, good spot to be with your buddies. But yeah, a few backpacking spots are like my favorite places. Although I like Italy, I just go in there and eating the food and visiting these medieval sites and so forth. But I got some traveling to do yet. But we're out here in California where there's nice mountains everywhere, and so we end up getting away, going up to Lake Tahoe or somewhere like that.
So where's a place you would love to go travel to?
Well, I'd like to see more of Colorado. We have belonged to a condo thing, and one of our condos is in Estes Park, and we've got another one in Steamboat Springs. And so I haven't traveled in the Rockies enough.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm only a couple hours away from it. I used to be 45 minutes away from it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So highly recommend you do. I could see you really enjoying it, Dr. Leiners.
Oh yeah, I've driven through that like out that park up there.
Estes.
Yes, and that park up there, and then through the other side. Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So, Dr. Leiners, how did you get from Minnesota to California then?
Went to school out here. My dad actually, I was in graduating from high school, and the family, my younger siblings, were moving out here on business. Dad moved his business out here. So I ended up out here, and subsequently the family moved back there through circuitous routes. But Dad ended up being a bush pilot in Alaska for a long time, and so they lived up there for a while, and then they moved back to Minnesota. My mom actually was in a plane crash up in Alaska in a small plane, broke her back, and ended up paraplegic. And so they wanted to move back home, around relatives and stuff back in Minnesota. So, but I stayed out here in California.
Wow, I feel bad for your mom. So did your other siblings stay in California or no?
No, they moved back with the family.
Moved back with the family.
Yeah.
Well, California is pretty, and it's a lot warmer than Minnesota.
Oh, right now, yeah.
a lot warmer. So is there anything else you'd like to share for this book, Purpose-Powered People, Dr. Leiners? I'm just grateful for your time and your experience and sharing it with us. Is there anything you want to say to inspire people?
Yeah. Keep focused. Yeah, focus is the main thing on your dreams, and never let them go, because it's so easy to take a fork in a road somewhere where it takes you away from where your calling or your happiness probably is. Although you can find happiness on any road, I suppose, but if you have really a favorite dream or vision, keep it in the back, keep your movie running. Don't ever let it stop, and it automatically takes you where it is. You don't have to fight to go there. You just kind of evolve there. But you have to keep it in the back of your mind, your goals, dreams.
I really like that. I've heard that before about it's a movie. It needs to keep going in your head, right? Have the dream keep going, and stay focused.
That make you successful with other people. The interpersonal skills, the respect, the regard, the loving kindness that it takes to engage others, because then it's so much easier to get where you're going, because people get us where we're going. No man is an island. So just keep, and that's learned. All this stuff is learned. doesn't come naturally. Study interpersonal skills and, get out of your own way.
No, that's so, so true. I like that. Get out of your own way. Life is short, right, Dr. Liners? Live it to the full, huh?
Oh, God forbid, but yet, you're 63 years old before you know it. You're just a child.
Ah,
There's so much more to go and to enjoy.
you're so kind. I don't know how old you think I am, Dr. Liners, but you're so kind. I'll tell you this. We're coming up on our 25-year. We're close to our 25-year high school reunion.
Whoa. God, I'm getting to the 45.
45?
Yeah. I graduated high school in 1970.
Oh, wow. I have a friend who graduated. He's a lot older than you. I think maybe like 1960 or something, but he shared something that was so fascinating. He said the high school reunions is all about your success and career. And then he goes, now it's shifted to, are you healthy? How are you feeling? It shifts that whole life transition, he said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those aches and pains and, all that stuff where you really kind of care more about, my mom used to say, the secret to a long life is not to shorten it.
Simple, huh? Oh, that's hilarious.
And don't drink too much. Some, but not too much.
That is so awesome. That is awesome. You remind me of a nurse when I went in for my physical, and she retired, and she came back. She got bored, and she leaned over and she's all, the secret is you have a drink every night. Totally cracked me up. I was laughing. So she was a cool nurse.
Yeah, that's why. You have to do this and do that. You got to be in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. She was making me laugh. She's talking about brandy and all that fun stuff. So I don't know. Do you like to drink, Dr. Liners? I don't even know.
Yeah, I sure do. But I don't drink nearly the volume that I used to in my 20s and so forth, the rock and roll days. Kind of known for being too loose, with substances and so forth. But then you kind of grow out of that when you get a family and children and all that stuff. And you gotta, when you become a man, put away childish things.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. I heard a study the other day that a man does not mature until I think age 43, 41 or 43. What would you say to that study? Is that true, Dr. Liners?
Not for me.
Not for you?
It took long time for me to grow up and to mature, and I'm still not all the way grown up, But most of your growing up comes with a man. It's much later. We don't pay attention till we're like in our 50s, maybe something like that. And women just they kind of get it right away, and you guys are sort of wired a little more responsibly than we are early on.
But that's good. We keep each other all balanced, right? We keep each other all in check and good balance.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome.
My angel does that for me.
Aw, that's sweet.
God gave me an angel, and if you don't cherish and treasure those angels that God gives you, I don't know how many more favors He's going to do for you.
That's very powerful. Yeah, God will have certain people come in your life and empower you. I love it. I love it.
They're gifts.
Mm-hmm. Truly a gift from God. So is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I'm so grateful to you and Tanya, our mutual friend, for doing this, and I'm very excited about this book. I don't know much about it, but you guys are are really on this thing and highlight successful types of people and so forth. And it's providing inspiration to many multitudes.
Well, we're happy to do it, and we had to, we wouldn't just take anybody. It had to be people that live life on purpose and doing good, and sharing their message to inspire others. So yeah, the book, we can't wait until it's all fully released. So thank you, Dr. Liners. I can't wait to keep staying in touch with you. Have a fabulous day.
Thanks so much, Jessica.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye now.